The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, in collaboration with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and the National Disaster Management Organization, is implementing a technical cooperation project geared at strengthening and sensitizing farming communities prone to floods along the White Volta Lake during the spillage of the Bagre Dam water, as well as other climate vulnerabilities in the Bawku West District. Our Northern Regional Correspondent Noah Nash was there, and he has come through with this report.
The yearly spillage of the Bagre Dam floods farmlands along the banks of the White Volta. The destruction by the spillage reduces the livelihood and income activities of farmers in most communities downstream. Yumpala, Wumbei and Aziz Abukari are onion farmers from the Googo community, which is about 4 kilometers away from the White Volta Lake. The area, which is in the Bawku West District, is prone to flooding during the Bagre Dam spillage and experiences drought and bushfires during the dry season. Yumpala and other farmers are engaged in irrigation farming during the dry season, just to make up for the losses during the spillage, using water pumps with fitted gas cylinders to minimize the cost from the intake point along the banks of the river. Despite several warnings, Yumpala, like other farmers, are adamant about warnings from the Disaster Management Organization to move upland due to the fertile nature of the land.
It is not an easy experience for me as a woman each time the flood takes over my farmland. 3 years ago, the flood took over everything on my farm. I was forced into dry season farming just to pay for the debt I owe people.
I am aware of the havoc of the Bagre spillage to us farmers, but we are forced to stay here to continue farming in the dry season to replace the loss we incurred. We cannot leave the river bank because the land is the most fertile and farming is the only source of livelihood I have to show for as a man. We hardly can get fertilizer or any other input support announced by the government. The cost of fuel for the pumping machine is also expensive, so we are forced to farm here.
During a sensitization of over 250 farmers in flood-prone communities like Googo, Kabori, Timondi, Balsaku and Galaka in the Bawku West District, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, in collaboration with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and NADMO, called for increased awareness on the 2 years Enhanced Resilience and Emergency Preparedness project among rural dwellers in the 5 selected communities. Some participants spoke to the news team.
I am very happy with the sensitization from the big man. We have learned a lot because it gives us the hope that we and others can still farm and harvest our crops early before the floods. This year, I lost all my crops after 2 months of planting maize and some vegetable. I can say that the engagement with us has afforded us the opportunity to tell the officers what we need to enhance farming activities without going to the riverbank.
The communications officer of the FAO, David Youngs, outlined the rationale behind the project implementation and the various support for the selected farming communities.
We're training most of them to be able to produce certified seeds, early maturing seeds. You know, sometimes the fact is that when they plant current seeds that they have, because it's not early maturing, by the time they would want to harvest, the flooding would have happened. But if they get early maturing seeds, they would have harvested before the flooding comes and to wash away their things.
Over 250 farmers were sensitized on disaster prevention initiatives during the farming season along the riverbanks for the 2023 season.